Oh, hello, it is I, your boy Gomi, and we are back with some more UFC Apex. I don't want to sound like a negative Nancy, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I just gotta voice my opinion with y'all each time. Y'all let me know if you're sick of it, but not a fan of the Apex. At the very least, we do have some fun matchups this time. This is definitely one of the better Apex cards, but at the end of the day, a warehouse is still a warehouse, especially coming off of that amazing UFC 299 card. Like, that was just a legendary card. And now we're going with this Tai Tuivasa against Marcin Tybura for UFC Vegas 88. Don't know how I feel about that main event, but like I said, there's some fun fights that we'll break down. First fight should be a fun fight is actually Jesus, I've heard his name pronounced so many times. Charlamapos Gregario versus Chad Anheliger. I am not going to believe in Canada. I'm electing to not believe in Canada. Canadian MMA has not been doing good. Anheliger is on a 2-fight losing streak, and he didn't look horrible in his fight against Jose Johnson, but he looked pretty bad against Haley Alteleni. Can never pronounce his name. But yes, he did not look good in that fight. But before that, he was on a really good win streak, but against not the best of opposition. Best person he beat was Muin Gafrov, who's decent. That's a decent win. I think he's just going to get ran through, honestly, by Gregario. Gregario has dynamite power. He's a very solid striker, really good Muay Thai. I don't see much for Chad Anheliger, to be perfectly honest with you. So, give me the TKO for Gregario. Jacqueline Amorim versus Corey McKenna. I'm going to go McKenna by decision. I am not a fan of the butt scoot BJJ style of Jacqueline Amorim. She looked good in a couple of her fights. Her jiu-jitsu can be pretty slick, but ultimately she got bullied out by Sam Hughes. I'm just not gonna go for it. I'm gonna go with McKenna. I think McKenna's got some solid power to her. She's a little pit bull firecracker, basically. She goes in there. I think she's got some solid striking, but not elite level, but definitely good for UFC caliber, to be honest with you. And yeah, that's really it. I'm gonna go with the slight favorite with Corey McKenna. Josh Culibao versus Danny Silva. This is a very exciting fight. I really like this fight. Danny Silva, watch his fight on the Contender Series. His fight against, who was it? I have to look that up. It was against Angel Pacheco. That was such a good fight. Both guys ended up getting contracts. He is a dangerous striker, and he's really good at putting pressure, putting pace on you. And he was an underdog in that fight. Underdog in this matchup now. I believe he's underdog. Minor underdog, right? Why is this fight not on my odds list? It's not on my list where I have my odds here, but it's on there. The fight's there. Man, I can't see if he's... Oh, there it is. It's just on a different day. Wait, what? Oh, sorry. This one's on March 17th, not March 16th. Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. That's not right. But yes, we're going to have Danny Silva as a minor underdog, like I mentioned, plus 154, and Josh Culibao is going to be the favorite. Josh Culibao is also a pretty solid striker. He's a little bit more technical. He's a little bit more slower than Danny Silva. Well, a lot slower from those statistics, but that's based off of very juiced up last fight where both guys went to death. But I do like Culibao's power, so this is definitely a hard matchup. I'm just going to go with Silva just because he really impressed me with how dog tough he was in that last fight. Rafael Filho versus Ode Osborne. Man, Ode Osborne is the guy I got not high on, but like I was like, oh man, this guy, he might be something. I think this guy's pretty solid. I liked his wins against Vergara, his win against Johnson. But then he got destroyed by Almabev, which I kind of saw coming, to be honest with you. But still, ultimately, he got destroyed by him. And he got destroyed by Tyson Nam a few years ago. Damn, 2 years ago now at this point. Rafael Filho, on the other hand, he's pretty solid. Very, very good jiu-jitsu. He's really slick with it. He can also knock you out. He's got some sneaky striking. He's got some sneaky hooks. But it's really jiu-jitsu that's going to be the main way that he's going to have success. And Odi Osborne, he makes mistakes in the grappling aspect. Rafael Filho, I could see him ripping his leg off like he tried to do to Mokaev but failed. So, yep, give me Filho by submission. I'm not betting this fucking fight. Jose Nunes versus Chelsea Chandler. I want to. Do I want to lean towards Nunes? Do I really want to? I think I do. But Nunes, just her stature for this division, I just don't think is good. It's just for women's bantamweight. Granted, they're both coming down from women's featherweight. I believe Chelsea Chandler's coming down from women's featherweight. But bantamweight, and you're 5'3" with that stocky. But she is tough, durable, and she has some okay wins. I'm not going to say Zara Farin is a really good win, but she has some okay wins. The only person who beat her is Talia Santos, who's pretty solid, not in UFC anymore for whatever freaking reason. Meanwhile, Chelsea Chandler, we're going to talk about the Numa Dormont fight. We're going to talk about that meme when she basically tried running home. She got cracked with a shot so bad she tried running home. Give me Nunes by decision. Chandler is tough, but she's still not that. I can't get that out of my mind, man. But then also, I don't think Nunes is that good, to be honest with you. And like, if it wasn't for that Numa Dormont fight, and we're just going off the Julia Shoryanko fight, I would be leaning towards Chandler. I wanted to at the start, but give me Nunes by decision. Natan Levy versus Mike Davis. Not a big Natan Levy guy, to be perfectly honest with you. He's a solid fighter. I keep saying that. That's like my filler word, to be honest with you, but it's simply that. That's the thing, is a lot of these guys they're solid, but there's not really anything where anyone's really jumping off the page at me. And Natan Levy's one of those guys. He's got no knockouts, he has a handful of submissions, but predominantly he's a guy that takes you a distance. He's a guy who picks at you from range and he tries to get it to go into distance. He's got an okay striking output, but that's really it. But then again, I also don't like picking guys coming off long layoffs like Mike Davis. Mike Davis, also, he fights once a freaking year. Yeah, he fought once in October of 2022. Fought once in January of 2021. I don't think he's all that good, to be honest with you. I don't know why he's even still in the UFC. I don't know how you get in the UFC, get demolished by an elite guy like Burns, and then fight once a year. How does he even stay in here? He's literally just like a filler guy. You look at his record and be like, oh man, this guy's 10-2. He's probably really solid. Nah, man, nah. And the thing is too, he's coming up to lightweight from, he used to be a featherweight. Moved up to lightweight, got demolished by a lightweight Burns, and that's the weakest version of Burns. I don't see Mike Davis as that good of a prospect, but I just think he's probably going to be a little better than Natan Levy. Oh man, he's a heavy favorite. Mike Davis is a -310. Skip. Davis by decision, but don't fucking bet this fight. Oh man, why? This is a short notice fight. I'm not going to talk super in depth about it. Thiago Moises was supposed to take on Brad Riddell, who's coming out of retirement. I thought Moises was probably going to run through Riddell, to be honest with you. I think Moises is going to run through Mitch Ramirez. Nah, again, I'm not even gonna say solid. He's just nothing special. I don't know why Mitch Ramirez is really here, to be honest with you, other than they need a guy to really come in short notice. He lost in the Contender Series, didn't get signed, got a knockout on LFA, and I guess they're like, hey, you want to get a second shot at the UFC? We need somebody to fill in this fight, because Lord knows we don't have enough people on the goddamn roster. Ugh, I don't like the fight. Not a big fan of it. Thiago Moises, while he is old and honestly, last couple losses, he seems like he quits. Like his fight against Benoit Saint Denis, he really seems like he just gave up, and he's just not the same level as he used to be. It's so weird. He's such a young guy, only 28, but he just feels like he has a lot of miles on the tires. Like he fought Benoit Saint Denis, he fought Damir Ismagulov and Benil Dariush all the way back. I just think he's peaked, and now I think he's regressing. I still think he should be able to take out Mitch Ramirez, though. Give me Thiago Moises by a submission, because his jiu-jitsu is still pretty solid. C-Rod versus Isaac Dulgarian. Okay, Christian Rodriguez has fooled a lot of people. He really has. I bet he's the favorite. No, thank you. He's underdog. Christian Rodriguez is a ballooned up featherweight who is fighting bantamweights. People are so high on him because he beat Raul Rosas Jr. And yes, I was on the Raul Rosas Jr. side. I still stand by it that I cursed the man by saying hi to him at a Shake Shack. But, oh boy. Jeez, I'm a decade older than him. But regardless, Christian Rodriguez, he's not the best. He beat Simon, who fought him very stupid. He beat Rosas Jr. and he missed weight. He missed weight in both those fights. Now he's being forced to go up to featherweight, and I just don't think he's going to be good at featherweight, especially against a guy like Isaac Dulgarian. Isaac Dulgarian, he's vicious. His ground and pound is disgusting. C-Rod has shown solid grappling defense, but against a guy who's basically a weight class underneath him and not nearly as old as him. If Raul Rosas Jr. can take down, Isaac Dulgarian will take you down, and he won't waste his time burning his arms out and trying to get you a submission. He's going to burn his arms out by trying to punch a hole through your head. I'm going to take Isaac Dulgarian, and I'm going to take him by KO. Then we're going to have GM3 versus Brian Barberena. Do I want to go on the GM3 side with the GM3, essentially? Why I call him GM3? Because he loves to get submissions in round 3. How many round 3 submissions does GM3 have? 1, 2, that's round 2, 3, 4. Damn, round 2 again. 5. No. Oh, you have more than that. Damn, round 5. He has more. God, he has so many fights. Okay, he has 4 round 3 subs. I thought it was way more than that. But yeah, GM3, very, very slick black belt. Brian Barberena, what happened his last fight going up against RDA, basically a lightweight. Basically a lightweight, and now Bam Bam's moving up in weight. Well, he moved up last fight, but still. He got submitted. What happened when he got fought against Gunnar Nelson? He got submitted. What's going to happen against GM3 in natural middleweight? He's probably going to get submitted. So give me GM3 by submission. I don't think it's going to be round 3. I think it's going to be round 2. It's going to be GM2 this time. Panini Kianzad versus Macy Chiasson. This is a rematch, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that. I didn't tape much on this fight, to be honest with you, because going off their last fights, I'm not very interested in this. This has to be. Yes, it's actually an Ultimate Fighter finale rematch, in which Macy Chiasson got the submission win. I don't think I'm going to be taking her submission this time. Her submission game has not, well, I don't think she's gotten a submission since. Yeah, she's not had a submission since back in 2018. Kianzad, she's okay, but we've seen the limits of her. We've seen her lose a decision against Raquel Pennington. Ugh, that was hard to watch. We see her lose a decision against Caitlin Vieira. Also hard to watch because there really wasn't much going in there. Meanwhile, Macy Chiasson, she's been out for a long time. I was like, when's the last fight I watched of her? I thought it was the Raquel Pennington fight in 2021, but no, It was a crazy up kick by Aldana where she up kicked her and she hit her in the liver, and it looked like a little tap and it finished her. So I don't know about this one, to be honest with you. I don't want to pick Kianzad because she just has not looked good in her last fight. But Chiaozan also coming off a massive layoff. I'm going to be going on the Kianzad side this time. I believe I'm going with the underdog. I'm almost certain I'm going with the underdog. Yep, I'm going with the underdog. I'm going to go with the underdog just because, like I said, of the two who looked better or not as bad, I'd have to go with Kianzad. Oh, decision, by the way, in case that wasn't obvious. I'm sorry, but there's very few women MMA fighters who gets finishes nowadays. I'll be likely take Zhang on finishes, but the thing is, or Zhang, but the thing is, she burned me on the finish last time. Though she should have finished Lemos. Whoever ref that was, I don't remember, but he wanted that fight to go distance. He either had a grudge against Lemos or he had money on her to go distance. OSP versus Kennedy Nzechukwu. This is a textbook, another reason why I'm just not a fan of these Apex fight nights. Why is OSP still here? Why? He's 40. OSP is 40 freaking years old, going up against a Kennedy Nzechukwu who's solid. He's a solid fighter. I don't want to say up and coming, but he's like a fresher fighter. He's a hungry guy. He has title aspirations. OSP's not gonna ever be in the title picture ever again. We're on the main card, right? When do we get on the main card? Oh damn, we're on the main card for a while. OSP, he's not going to come anywhere near a title for a long time. He should have retired with the Shogun Hua fight, which I saw live, by the way. He should have retired from that fight because, like, he's not going to be getting another win. Like, he tried going up to heavyweight against Tanner Bozier. That didn't go well. He got the piss beat out of him by Jamal Hill. He's just not as good anymore. Gone are title contention days. Like, back in the day when he fought like John Jones, like that was peak for him. That was so many years. That was more than a decade ago. Oh, that was almost a decade ago. So I'm just not going to put much stock in OSP. Kennedy Nzechukwu, he's a very solid striker. He's got some good reach. I believe he has, he's a 3-inch reach advantage. He's long with the teep kicks. He's long with the jabs. I can see him piecing up OSP, and with the age and how many times, like how much tread he's got in the tires, he's been knocked out in his last 3 losses. He's going to get knocked out by Kennedy Nzechukwu. I can almost guarantee you that. Brian Battle versus Andre Lusa. This is a good fight. I like this fight a lot. Brian Battle is a dangerous guy, and Andre Lusa, even though I don't believe he has as many knockouts, he's got power. He's got power. Let's see, how many knockouts Andre Lusa have? 5 knockouts. So half his wins have been knockouts. And I believe Brian Battle has 3 knockouts. Surprising. I thought Battle had more. But regardless, this is a very fun fight. We've seen Brian Battle go to battle. He's earned the name. I didn't like how he lost against Rinat Fakhretdinov, to be honest with you. Like, coming off the Ultimate Fighter, I was very high on him. Then I saw that fight. I kind of thought, But since then, he's bounced back with 2 really good wins. That absolute quick, short brawl to the death against Gabriel Green. I remember that Green just kind of like punched his fist together, ran out of bounds, like, oh, okay, we're doing this, I guess. And they just slugged it out. That was a great fight to watch. And then AJ Fletcher, another fight where he just looked really solid, really on point. But Andre Lusa, at the same time, has also looked very solid and very on point. Also beating up AJ Fletcher. And the Rhys McNee fight. He's really good. He's not been really getting many knockouts in the UFC, but he still has that absolute power, and I could see this being an absolute brawl. I could see this turning into a brawl like that. Andre Lusa could be a little bit more... He can play back a little bit more, per se, sometimes, but he still has very high volume, very high output. So I'm going to be taking Brian Battle by finish, by probably, I want to say, no, I'm just going to say finish. It could be a TKO or submission, because the main thing is, it's just going to be too dangerous a fight. Someone's got to go down. Someone's got to go down, in my honest opinion. And then we're going to go on to the main event of the evening. Tai Tuivasa be taking on Marcin Tybura. This is going to be a heavyweight matchup. Tai Tuivasa is going to be 30 years of age, 15 wins, 6 losses, 14 knockouts. Do you really think he has any goddamn submissions? Ask yourself this. Ask yourself that. 6'2" in terms of height, southpaw stance, 75-inch reach disadvantage, not a damn takedown. Did you really have to ask that too? Did you really have to ask that? 51.92% significant strike accuracy, -130 favorite. He has significance over Derek Lewis, Augusto Sakai, Greg Hardy, and Harry Hunsucker. You will be seeing Greg Hardy again. Marcin Tybura is going to be 38 years of age, 24 wins, 8 losses, 9 knockouts, 6 submissions, 6'3" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 78-inch reach advantage, a 1.39 takedown average, a 59.17% significant strike accuracy, plus 110 underdog. He has significant wins over Ivanov, Alexander Romanov, Walt Harris, and Greg Hardy. Again, poor Greg Hardy. Actually, no, not poor Greg Hardy. The streets do not forgive Greg Hardy. The streets enjoy his suffering and him getting knocked out. I don't like this matchup, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't like it being 5 rounds. Get this 5-round shizer out of my face at this point, but I think Tai Tuivasa, he's the more likely to take it. I don't bet against my boy Tai, but I've been betting on my boy Tai recently, and it has not been going well for me. In case you didn't know, Tai Tuivasa, he's on a bit of a skid. I really thought the Volkov fight was winnable. I thought he was definitely a really live dog in that fight. He got Ezekiel choked. Pavlovich, that was just cruel. I said that's just cruel matchmaking. Like, boy, he got knocked out bad, destroyed by hometown Gon. And then they said, hey man, 3 months later, you want to fight Sergey Pavlovich? We need to get Tai Tuivasa back in the win column. We really do. Tai Tuivasa is such an exciting fighter, and he's very good with his striking. His striking is actually pretty decent. The only problem is he's a fat heavyweight. He's very inathletic. He gasses out, and he can make bad decisions if he can't get entries in. He can get very frustrated. Marcin Tybura, he can skate around. He's definitely more in shape. He's not a fat heavyweight, but he's no Tom Aspinall, as we saw by their fight. The thing that makes me want to lean towards Tai Tuivasa is the age of Marcin Tybura, but then again, 38 is not a death sentence at heavyweight like it is at, say, lightweight, for example. But still, he's old. He's coming off a bad knockout. I know. It's Tom Aspinall. There's nothing wrong getting knocked out by Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall knocked out Sergey Pavlovich in a minute. If you get knocked out or submitted by Tom Aspinall, everyone's gonna be like, it's Tom. It's okay. He's good. But Marcin Tybura, he took a lot of damage. He got folded with basically 1 shot. I guarantee you Tai Tuivasa hits harder than Tom Aspinall, so... But the problem is Tai Tuivasa as well too has taken a lot of damage, been finished quite a bit. He's taken at least a little bit of a break this time, but he's been finished so severely in most of his fights. And also, I saw that video going around of his leg injury. That was like a while ago, but still that just, it doesn't bode well. This is not something I want to bet on. I think your best option, if you must bet on this fight, I think your best option is just take the under. Just bet the under. I'd say under should open at 3.5. If it opens at 2.5, or God forsake 1.5, I wouldn't take it because Marcin Tybura can really stretch things out. He's not a guy who's gonna go for the finish no matter what. Tai Tuivasa will, but then you're at that point you're better off just betting Tai Tuivasa by KO. So give me my boy Tai to win it by KO, but it's not a confident pick. So once again, that has been UFC Vegas 88. I don't know why I thought it was 90. I wrote my notes 90, and when I was saving my assets and pictures and graphics, I was writing 90. I don't know why. It's really weird. But regardless, it is UFC Vegas 88. We're almost at 90. So yes, this has been your boy Gomi. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. And once again, bye-bye.